Okay, Flames of War scenario. Assault on Hill 105 outside of Brest. Here's the Americans. The Germans are in the distance. Daniel chose a American Rifle Company, which consists of 3 rifle platoons, a weapons platoon, and a mortar platoon, and attached an engineering or assault platoon, and 4 Shermans. So his setup was, starting on the right, he's got his mortars out here hanging out, ready to move forward. Of course you see the Shermans, rifle platoon, engineering platoon, weapons platoon up in the front, and another rifle platoon out here. Rabbit, of course, is playing the Germans. Got 3 machine gun bunkers, 2 German Grenadier platoons, and I weapon attached 2 machine guns to each from a weapons platoon. We have a supporting Pack 97 38 battery, 3 cannon. Headquarters has got 2 8cm mortars attached, and for artillery we have a Wargamerabbit battery, full strength. We even bought the 50mm for little flank protection here. End of the first turn. Germans didn't do anything, they just laid low. The Americans came forward. As you can see there, Shermans are lining the hedgerow now. Mortars are all dug in. Engineering platoon behind the tanks. Rifle platoon behind them. The bulldozer tried to clear some of the bocage away. Failed its skill roll. Weapons platoons up against the hedge. Following rifle platoon behind them. And the other rifle platoon out on the far left. End of turn 3. The American mortar platoon fired a smoke bombardment, and with its 6 mortars put in a triple template there on top of the hill. Last fire phase in the second turn, I should note the Nuberwaffers came in and dropped their shells, or rockets in this case, on the engineering platoon, and just happened to light up an American Sherman too. Real lucky shot. End of the 4th turn. The Packs fired again and knocked out the 3rd Sherman, and he had to take a platoon morale check, which he passed. Nuberwaffers fired a volley on the upcoming American rifle platoon. Everybody hit the cover except for their fool and vain platoon leader, who promptly, as you can see, became a blood splat. American mortars are firing their smoke bombardment. Second turn, they've put it on there nicely. And in the middle of, or the central woods, there's an American rifle platoon and the weapons platoon coming up, getting ready for the assault. And on the far flank, they're running across the open ground, and our machine gun up here on the hill so far has done a very good job of missing everything. In the American first half of the turn, they knocked out one of the pack guns up on the ridge. Lucky shot. Turn 5, real quick, another volley of rockets landed on the same American rifle platoon. This case caused no damage other than the fact we pinned them. You can see the smoke has disappeared because the American mortars successfully failed to range in on their attempts. End of turn 7. Not much American movement. As you can see, they're all climbing into the woods getting ready for their assault. Nuberwaffers fired another volley. The Americans this time tried a regular bombardment on the German lines. Didn't range in. The 2nd CIC climbed into the reluctant tanker group here, so they're commanding the remaining Sherman. And his company commander, by the flag there, is temporarily assuming command of the leaderless platoon, which just got hit by another Nuberwaffer rocket launcher bombardment, and this time they lost 2 more stands. So we've really got the range. Here's the American mortar detachment, just dropping shells up on the ridge, but doesn't seem to have much effect yet. So, end of turn 8. Well, the Americans came up in their half of the turn, lined the edge of the woods, took a couple of shots, but you can only get 4 hits on the dug-in German Grenadiers out here. So, on the German half of the turn, what happened? Well, you can see it. There was a platoon in the woods there, but there's a lot of dead bodies, and the 3 survivors, they scrammed home real fast. There was at least 30 shots coming out by the time the dust settled between 3 machine guns and a whole bunch of Grenadier stands. and it wasn't pretty, folks. Some of the stands got multiple kills on them. Out here in the middle, the weapons platoon picked its head out on the American half of the turn, fired a few shots up the hill, didn't have too much effect. He almost got him though. And the return volley between the 75s and the machine gun bunker, as you can see, was pretty efficient. Those gun teams just dropped like flies. Mortar though got their smoke rounds on top of the left half of the German line. So in the back half of the turn, I decided to stay quiet. But the Nubelwerfers, they chucked their shots off. The rockets flew overhead, landed on our favorite target out here, the rifle company, which has now got the American company commander attached. Hit 3 of them, but he saved on all his rolls. Meanwhile, the 2 Shermans, what's left of the Shermans, are doing a little gun duel, long range, with the 50mm attached to the Nubelwerfer battery. And the Americans are shuffling over, trying to get ready for their assault. Couple of shots. He got 4 hits on the guys up on the ridge, even through the smoke and everything, but none of them needed to roll a save roll. They all passed. On the German return fire phase, we let the rocket battery cool off. They've been having a good day. And over here we took a couple of pot shots more at his weapon platoon, so he lost a couple more on the weapons platoon on the edge of the woods there, as you can see. I think this is the end of turn 10. As you can see, the carnage is inflicting on the Americans here. Their smoke bombardment failed. The mortars are certainly going to have something to explain later. And so consequently the Germans finally opened fire. And the Shermans tried picking off the machine gun on the corner but didn't succeed. And the front ranks, as you can see, took a few hits. In addition, the rear company got hit with the rocket launchers, so they lost a couple. So all 3 of these platoons are now pinned. So we'll see if the Americans can unpin on turn 11. And to turn 11, as you can see, the assault's ready to go up. The Americans got exactly 1 turn left. Company commanders waving the American flag at the end. The mortar crew know that they will not survive the night if they don't get the smoke bombardment down. So they're praying. Sherman's picked off the corner machine gun. Our fire back was pretty much ineffective, but we did get enough shots to pin this platoon, but we'll see if they can lift it. Some preliminary fire, which was pretty ineffective. Here comes the first assault on turn 12. The first volunteer. This platoon is personally led by the company commander. He was throwing the American flag forward for them to chase and know which direction to go. First assault is thrown back with only 1 body though. He took 7 hits, saved 6. So the engineering platoon, what's left of it, is having a crack at it. They're a little further on the flanks, so the machine gun bunker up here can't seem to be able to get an angle on this thing, so they might get in here and cause some damage. Well, the Americans totally whiffed on their shovel and grenade exercise, so with no hits, the Germans motivate themselves and come down the hill and chase after them. Didn't even have to make a roll. So we got 4 stands now beating up on the American engineers. We'll see who's going to win this fight. It's the end of turn 12, so officially the scenario is over. Daniel, I think, is throwing in the white towel here. So in the gloom of the smoke on the hill, the German Grenadiers promptly executed a firm Teutonic maneuver and cleaned out the American engineers. Gave them 3 hits, 3 kills, and then promptly they fell back because they failed their motivation to counterattack. And then they took a platoon morale check and promptly scattered to the winds. So with 2 dead platoons out of his force here, he's still not reaching company morale, but there's nothing left in this American force here to really try and take the hill. So we're declaring this game a German victory. So all told, in quick summary, there's 2 dead American platoons. The engineers have gone. Oh, we got to remove the bulldozer tank. It left too. And here's the hand of God comes in and leaves the bulldozer tank. So there's 1 Sherman left of the Sherman tank platoon, and there's 2 American rifle platoons left in the woods. They're a bit disorganized, 1 without its platoon commander acting in. The trusty mortar team, of course, is intact. And as for the American weapons platoon, which is all that's left, that's it. But it's not down to sole survivor yet. And of course the Germans up here are just having a good old day. They haven't hardly lost anything. 2 anti-tank guns and 1 machine gun team. That is all they have lost. So the defenders of Brest are successful here. Hill 105 is definitely going to be in German hands for a while.